May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. We're going to be looking at the US dollar through the US dollar index. All right, or otherwise known as the Dixie. All right, but first we're going to look at the economic calendar ahead for the week of March. What is it? March 10th through the 14th. All right. What we can see is that there's nothing happening on Monday. All right. This is a day where the market has news and a bunch of volatile, herky-jerky type stuff, all right, as it decides what will be the trend for the week. It's usually about a 3-day trend, right? 3 to 4 days. And it's usually decided between Tuesday and Wednesday. But between Monday and Tuesday, or Monday through Wednesday, that we might see some misdirection in one way, and then the true trend once it establishes where it's going to go, either Tuesday or Monday evening or Tuesday during Tuesday. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, Tuesday we got jolts. That's going to add some volatility. CPI. This is really important. This has a lot of impact on the markets. You want to be clear of your day trades. If once the news is announced, you want to be I'm telling you, it's safer to take the trade afterwards, and then you can fade the move, whatever it is. All right, but that's a high impact. And then we have the Canadian dollar. They're going to go through their interest rate. All right, we got core PPI on Thursday for the US dollar. And Friday we have GDP for the pound and consumer sentiment on Friday. This is going to be a good week for volatility. That I can tell you. All right. Now, let's look at let's look at the Dixie, the US dollar index. All right, we're going to do a top-down analysis on the monthly. We can see this area of supply. Price pushed up in here 2002, went sideways. All right, did all of this consolidation, and we finally get a sweep of this low before pushing up and breaking structure to the upside. That's a bullish move. All right, into this supply. I've been talking about this move up into supply when it was making this move. And before it made it, I said, I'm going to be looking at longer term bearishness. And a lot of you people already know that. And we've been hitting that hard, haven't we? Yes, we have. All right. But what I want you to make note of is how bearish this is. You see this area right? Yeah, I did it right. If you see this area right here, oh man, I did do it wrong. All right, I'm sorry. Trying to make a fair value gap here. This was a bullish fair value gap, and price normally hits these things and then uses it to go higher. But when in the case that it rams right through it, you know that this is a very bearish and has a very bearish intent. And look at how massive this candle is. You can see the momentum, and there was no wick left. This is going lower, folks. All right. And what am I looking at? I'm looking at this low right here. Once we take that low out, that looks like a great area for a price to want to pull back. Came very close to that area. And this also is the beginning of a bullish fair value gap. Will this one hold, or will it fold like this one did? This one goes away. All right. Will it fold? Are we heading towards these lows? Let's take a look at the weekly. The question. All right. If we, you can see the monthly fair value gap, how close we are to entering it, and you can see how massive and how only the sellers participated in this move. Price likes to offer fair value, so I'm waiting for it to pull back into this area. All right. Next week is a great week for price to form a weekly fair value gap with a candle that pushes up and then comes down. That would leave a bearish fair value gap for price to push back into and then continue down to these lows. All right. But for the weekly candle that is about to form, I expect it to take this low because of the momentum to the downside. I expect it to take this low and tap into this fair value gap, and that would give us a brief, a short-term uh, bullishness into whatever fair value gap might be there, to establish on the weekly a fair value gap, and then price could tap back into that area to come back down. So this week, what do we got coming up for this week? All right. Do I think price is coming all the way back up here to that bearish fair value gap and tap that and then go back in? No, I don't. I don't. It doesn't mean it won't happen, but I think the probability of that is pretty low. I think what is more probable is that price comes back into this bearish fair value gap here on the daily. This is a daily fair value gap. I'm looking for price to tap into this monthly area of fair value, take this liquidity low, and push back up in here. That would give us a couple of days of bullishness. Do you understand? All right. That's if this scenario plays out where we take out this low. Price takes that low out for the sell side liquidity, hits that the bullish fair value gap, which will act as, because it's old, it'll act as a speed bump. All right. Instead of price just ramming all through it, it uses it as a speed bump, gets a reaction, and then we can continue down lower into this area of demand. So I'm gonna go back one time for your mind. I'm going back here. I'm going to mark this area of fair value from the sell to the buy, a sharp buy up. All right, this is an area of fair value, and I'm going to mark it here. Boom. All right, inside of this is our demand zone. All right, we can whittle it down. We could the better word is to refine it if we like to this area here, but we don't. This is far off. We don't need to do that now. This is we can use this as an area of demand that price could find its way down into, but this is the area of fair value. Once it enters here, this is when I start looking for a price to find support, and maybe it may continue down from there or continue up. I don't know. Right now, we'll see what happens when it gets there. But for now, what we're looking for is, will price take out the low between Monday and Tuesday, and then pull back up to enter into that fair value, which would give us a short-term bullish move. All right, and then I don't know how I just did that. All right, and then we can see if price is going to push back down. I'm thinking to wait for a bearish move, because that is going with the prevailing trend right now. And I don't want to take buys. I'm not interested in taking buys. But those who've been on my channel know that I don't trade the US dollar index. I use it as an indicator so that I can trade the majors better. The Euro USD, the Pound USD, the AUD, Aussie dollar USD, the New Zealand dollar USD, the Canadian dollar USD, USD Canadian dollar, USD Swiss franc, and USD Japanese yen. All right, as the US dollar is weakened, the others will gain strength against it. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at. Looking at this, looking at that draw on liquidity. Let me see something here. I'm looking at this draw on liquidity at 103.37. All right, and once it's taken, I'm looking for price to push back up into this fair value gap, starting at 104.39, and this is where I'll be looking for a higher probability move to the downside into this area of fair value here, this bullish area of fair value. All right, I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. The next video will be the Euro USD, and I hope to see you there.